I'm John Batchelor. Jeff Bliss of the Bliss Index continues with me. Mr. Bliss, I read in the LA Times, this is unbelievable, but I read it anyway, that 1,400 California state employees were paid in excess of $200,000 in 2010, in the year of collapse. And that there's most of these are prison doctors, dentists, and nurses. There was a prison doctor paid $777,423 in 2010. There was a dentist paid $599,403. Prison dentist. Now, do you read this kind of stuff all the time in California and get used to it?
Well, I don't think we ever get used to it, but unfortunately, it seems like we read about this more and more. You know, as the state's budget, the economy, the fiscal mess in Sacramento gets worse and worse, more of these stories seem to bubble up, and every time it comes around, you sit and shake your head and you scratch your head and you say, can this really be happening again? Because this is just remarkable. I mean, there are a lot of doctors out there in the private world who'd say, gosh, I'd like $700,000 a year, or dentists who say, I'd like to get close to $600,000 a year.
Right, and they're going to take state pensions based on their incomes when they were working for the state. So here we have this. This makes no sense. A prison psychiatrist, Fong Lai, received $594,976. You're going to think that's a salary. What's the big deal? You're wrong. For 2.5 years' worth of unused sick time. I'm reading this in the LA Times, otherwise I'm lying, right, Jeff?
Yeah, you'd think you're making it up. And going on with that story, there was a dentist who got a $553,000 payout.
For unused sick time. What is sick time worth? What do you do in sick time in California?
I'd like to find out how to get some of that sick time. I mean, I know there's another part in the story where it said 309 state employees got lump payments in excess of $100,000.
What is that? Is that like their bookies pay them off? I mean, Jeff, I'm 3,000 miles. Something funny here, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder, I don't know why people bother playing the lottery here. Just sign up to be an employee and don't take sick days.
Your taxes go to pay unused sick time of a prison dentist of $500,000 a year?
Pretty shocking, isn't it? Now you know why we're in the situation we are. It's not because of that amount of money, but the way we run things here.
Jerry Brown is paid $173,900 per year. Why should we listen to him?
Yeah, he's just entry level.
His unused sick time would probably worth 50 cents. All right. Now, Jerry Brown has not signed the budget that was sent to him by the Democrats, right? He refused to sign it.
The first one, yes.
Right. Okay. And there's what you'd have to say an impasse in Sacramento, much like the impasse in Washington. Does Jerry Brown have a solution?
Well, they did finally come around to signing one, but it's been difficult. The first one that went through was one that was essentially a bogus one. As a matter of fact, that's what a lot of people in Sacramento and the state were saying on both sides of the aisle. And we have a proposition here in the state that says if they don't pass the balanced budget on time, the legislators don't get paid. And so, strangely enough, a Democratic official, state controller, said, forget it, this doesn't pass the smell test, and he put the kibosh on it until they went back and worked out something real.
And so he did sign the budget.
That's my understanding, yes.
All right, but nobody's happy with it.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody is. And sometimes that's a way to show you that you're doing the right thing. If nobody's happy, you had compromise. But the truth is nobody in California is happy.
No, and the reason you're not happy is because the state government is ignoring you, is deaf. You know, we did the history with John Steele Gordon so I could find out where this came from. And I couldn't determine at what moment California allowed itself to be plundered by people who were making $500,000 for unused sick time. When did the social contract turned into I got mine, I work for the state?
I think it's when we lost all of the bounce from the Silicon Valley bubble and the high-tech bubble, all those different things, the real estate, and then we started to see these stories come up. We started to see where people were pilfering, and it was making a difference because the state wasn't getting any better. Matter of fact, it was slipping way, way down, and people were saying, wait a minute, how did it happen like this, and why is it going this way so fast?
And no one's answering, right? These numbers were published today in the LA Times. There can't be a lot of happy people in Southern California.
You're absolutely right, but it's not just this story. It's the story of the cities where you have people, working on pensions for themselves for $1 million, a year or something like that. These crazy numbers. You look at them and you say, "Wait a minute, how can this be happening?" And it's not just one city here, one city there. You've got cities that are going out of business. You've got the state saying, "How are we going to make a budget?" It's just the whole state is rife with this situation.
Jeff Bliss of the Bliss Index. I'm John Batchelor.